Are you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to us on Broadway World or over here on the Broadway Podcast Network, and we are continuing our series working with the Irish Rep. I love the Irish Rep. When I was going to acting school, my acting teacher said, go to the Irish Rep if you want to see amazing work and great acting. They have been putting on works for decades, and they're amazing. And this next show that we're going to talk about, The Weir, has been around. I think it's like its third go around. The actors just don't want to let it go. I understand it's that good. And look, I'm a little Irish Jersey man, so I got to go represent my heritage and check it out and go see the show. You can see it through August 31st. What's it about? Is it scary? Do I believe in ghosts? Yes. Do they keep me up at night? Yes. Is the show going to scare me? Probably, but you're going to see some amazing acting and some great work. Dan Butler is here. Sean Gormley is here, and we're excited to welcome you to the Roundtable. Welcome.
Thank you, Robert. Nice to be here. Hi, everyone.
You guys have all gotten the New York Times critics pick for this work. This work has gotten rave lauded reviews. Dan, how does it feel to do it, to be back at it again?
It's kind of wonderful. It sort of fits into that borderline supernatural feeling of the show that I've gotten this opportunity and to do it 3 times. And I've talked to the guys about this before, but when anything like this happens, I always ask, why are you coming back into my life? What do I have to learn from this? And it's been a great, great period of rediscovery and discovery. It's really rich material. It's great to be doing it.
How about for you? You all have been with it from the beginning. At least I believe 3 of you have.
Yes, myself and Dan have been with it, from the beginning. I've actually done it this is the 4th time because we had another casting change at one point. And as Dan said, the text is so rich that it is not quite like doing it for the first time, obviously, but it is very fresh. And having 2 new members in the ensemble changes everything, changes the whole dynamic. There's a lot of listening in the play, and there's a lot, more so than usual, of really working off each other, depending. And the audience is very much a part of the production, the atmosphere in the house. Things get responses one night that they don't get anything the next night. It really changes that way. So it always feels like it's very fresh each time. As I was saying to somebody recently, I still get quite nervous, before doing it, because there's no automatic pilot on this one at all.
As you should. We always should be nervous.
Yeah, of course.
Well, as we're talking till August 31st, you can get tickets at irishrep.org is where you can get your tickets to see it. And so, Dan, how do you describe what the show's about? What's the elevator pitch for this show?
I'm always, of course, my
mind depends what floor you're going up to.
Yes.
We have a lot of floors, so take your time.
Before, when I was in it before, I always described it as hauntings. There are the requisite typical ghost stories you expect, and then we're all, our memories are ghosts of ourselves. So we conjure up, all of us conjure up different periods of times in our lives, and I just love all the layers, like Sean talking about, coming back to this. It's like there's the ghosts of us doing it before. And it's been really wonderful and heartening coming to it completely new. When anything came up that felt like it was automatic or just a remembered thing from before, it went away. So I just think it's story. It's, I think everyone has ghosts. I think everyone has a connection to ghosts. There's the thrill of being scared a bit, and there's the thrill of surprise, and just the pull in of a really good story told.
I think that sounds pretty, it's storytelling really, truly at its finest is what you're going to see when you see this. And Sean, it's kind of about a pub in Ireland and a character that walks in and the folklores and the tales are told.
Yeah, but I think what I like is it's never at any point wistful, and often I think when we're recanting things that happened in the past, it can get a little wistful, and I remember when, but it's really the effect of these past events. It's the effect they've had on the present person who's recalling the story. The effect has lingered, and it's a very universal effect, whatever the story might be, telling.
So
It isn't ghost stories with a boo or a fright or shocking as the stories may be. They're also very subtle, and there are a lot of themes of loneliness involved. 3 of the 4 men in the play are bachelors, which I think is very deliberate. And they're not young, they're getting on, and that makes one think back on one's life. But rather than speak directly to those things, they do them, I think, through the stories and how they were affected by certain incidents and how they affect the present and how such things affect all of us. And I think that's why people relate to it so well.
And that's why it keeps on running, including a filming of this and now another run. So Dan, Conor, who wrote this piece, are these original ghost stories? Are they folklore ghost stories? Is there what are the words we're going to hear? What is there a story that is in a story? Give us a little hint.
Well, I don't want to give away any of this deliciousness of hearing these. However, I hear them every night, and it always feels like new. It always feels like, okay, I'm going along. Oh, suddenly I'm just in that world that the storyteller is talking about. And I have one instance in the show where really I am honoring an original storyteller. I'm taking on her story and recounting it in my words. So it's sort of carrying on a tradition. And also there's a wonderful thing that I've witnessed in life, and maybe we all have, that there was a time where I was a young actor and I go, oh, well, people don't speak in monologues. People don't tell stories like that. That's just in plays. And then witnessing it in real life and being told a story that, I'm a trained platform listening to someone's story that I've been there 25 minutes. And it sounded like, they could stop at any time, but it opens to another chapter, another chapter, another chapter. So I'm sure I went down a tangent and that didn't directly answer your question, but that's the pull about.
That's very Irish of you, going off in a tangent.
So Sean, now that you get to revisit this piece again, is there a big rehearsal process? Is there a memorization at home? Are you home just thinking about the lines? Do you remember them like you did them yesterday? What is your process?
No, well, personally, it takes me forever to learn lines. Once I get them in there, they're pretty good, but I'm particularly slow. I'm always bitterly envious of anybody who can look at a thing and memorize it fast. But I think there are advantages to that too. You soak up the content differently. And this was a full-on rehearsal process again. There was no case of, we've done it before, we can skip over this bit. This was starting with the table read and getting it up on its feet pretty fast. And our wonderful director, Kieran O'Reilly, had quite an organic approach to it. He let us find our own stuff and tweaked things here and there. And he had a very good, he knows the play so intimately. He also knows the playwright. And he's also from the part of the world where the play takes place. And McPherson had been influenced by this play by being taken at a very young age to his uncle's, I think it was a grandfather's pub in his home, and he would hear these old guys telling these stories. And this is pre-internet, pre-cell phone, the whole thing. So the only entertainment was to regale each other with tales. And they were very, very beautifully eloquent and flowery with them, and they elaborated, went off on tangents. And that was the big influence for him telling these stories. I'm not sure how much he nitpicked actual things from them, but I'm sure there was an influence there, particularly in the ones that deal directly with ghosts as such. I'm sure they were culled from real events. That's just my own take on it. But the rehearsal process was, was very in-depth. And it's, like most rehearsal processes, ever growing. And then we were just raring to go come previews,
Of course.
So because the audience is really the the sixth member, in this, and we needed to get in front of an audience for a lot of timing, reactions, one thing and another, and just to see how it would feel. And there's that little electricity in the air, which you can never rehearse. So that was the process. Nothing drastically different.
It sounds like it's been a blast and a blessing to be able to do it. John Keating is backstage. John, are you here?
Oh,
is he?
John is. I just want people to know, when you see that John is coming, John is here. He may be a ghost of John Keating, but he's a. John, do you hear us, baby? Dan, tell us about the new members while we try to get the kinks out for John and get him in here. Dan, can you tell us about the new members of the show that joined this well-oiled machine, that with the old vets that have been doing it?
Well, Johnny Hopkins and Sarah Street. I think Sean, I know John has worked with Sarah before. Did you?
Yes, I worked with Sarah before, and she's worked a lot of the Irish Rep. Wonderful.
Yes. And I think Johnny's worked there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's wonderful because, it's funny. We opened last night and we got a bouquet of flowers from another actress that had been in it the first time we did it. And it just, it's the embrace of everyone that's ever done it. I mean, wishing everyone well, and they're a part of it in a way. I have the character of Jack that I play has a close sort of patriarchal relationship with Johnny's character, Brendan, and trying to encourage him not to turn out like me. And Sarah is just, it's this entrance of a woman into this male world, and how it transforms things subtly and profoundly. It's wonderful to be there. I can't compare this play to any other play. There's just something about it that it depends on the ensemble quality of it, and feeding and encouraging everyone and supporting everyone. It's terrific. I encourage everyone to come and take part in it. Like Sean was saying, the audience members are another character in it.
Well, now that the previews is wrapped up and the show is opening, and you can get tickets, everybody, for a fair price compared to what New York theater costs. The Irish Rep make sure to try to make tickets accessible so that you don't miss the work that they do. Sean, why is it so? And we're talking, it runs, of course, until the 31st, like we're saying. So you got to get your tickets, because in the past the runs have sold out. So get your tickets quick.
Yes.
Sean, for you, why is working at Irish Rep such a great place to work as an actor?
It holds a special place in my heart because that's where I earn my equity card, my membership. So I always, after much trial, that was a huge day for me, and it meant a lot that it was the Irish Repertory Theatre. And it wasn't until I worked at other theatres that I realised just how lovely and familial, if that's the right word, the Irish Repertory. Kieran O'Reilly and Charlotte Moore, who founded and run the theatre, have a beautiful relationship with everyone who works there. They take them in as family. You're not just some employee who's come in for a couple of months. You're never forgotten. You become part of the company, so to speak. They have really good tea all the time, copious amounts of it. Tea snack. There's a lovely atmosphere in there, and I always feel they're the kind of people, even if you don't see them for a long time, you could always call on them for something. They're very, very generous to the theatre community in general, to everyone in general, particularly to the theatre community. Should you ever need anything, advice, something, a space, whatever, they're just terribly open and giving all the time. They're it's personally it's the nicest, most welcoming theatre I've ever worked at. I've done, I think, a dozen shows there now, and the atmosphere is just terrific. You want to go into a place and not feel pressurized. The work is pressure enough, and you don't want other headaches on top of that. And they try and create a very, congenial atmosphere for everybody. and they're very good about equality of all sorts and things like that. And they also, of course, have a smaller theatre downstairs, which they've done a lot more kind of experimental stuff with, very often at a loss, but they'll do it anyway because it needs to be done. And I always admire that about them.
That's what I love about them as well, putting on original works or works that don't get to be heard, and new voices that get to be heard, and actors getting, like Sean, getting their equity card, working on a run in New York City. Dan, what's the experience like for you? What can you say about working with the Irish? Do they have good tea? Is that the rumor? Is that true?
Well, I drink coffee, so I don't know.
Same.
I will take Sean's word on that, and I'm sure it's stellar. Wow. Well, my experience with the Irish Rep has been through the different incarnations of this show, and coming to the excellent productions. And I agree totally with what Sean was saying about the generosity and the spirits of Charlotte and Kieran at the top. And it's the best of trickle down, spirit. And you see everyone that works there, they're tireless, they're devoted, they love what they're doing. Oh my goodness. Goes to rise.
He always arrives just before the curtain call.
That's perfect.
Robert, I'm so sorry about that.
John, you are wonderful and perfect. We are at the mercy of the internet. Please.
Well, actually, I'm at the mercy of my daughter, unfortunately, who just cut her finger. And as I was just trying to get in there the first time, but she's fine now. We're fine.
Oh, good.
Just one of those things,
Well, John, that's okay. It doesn't matter. You made it to the party.
I'm here.
John, the most pressing question we've had so far is, does the Irish Rep have better tea or coffee backstage for you actors? I think
I'd say the tea is as good as it gets.
That's what Sean says.
Yeah, the tea is as good. And Barry's tea is primo. And they always have Barry's tea. And they even have the decaf as well, which is above and beyond.
So, John, tell us, for you, you've been with this show with these two gentlemen, Dan and Sean, from its inclination since it started. And what can you say about this go around, and how's it feel to be back at it?
I'll tell you, it feels even better than it did each time before. And I think one reason for that is, when we were chatting about that with Kieran the other day, Kieran O'Reilly, that there is a little bit more of a sense of discovery in the stories for everybody this time, than perhaps there was before. We've all worked hard, I think, on refinding the stories and having them come perhaps not so easily or not so readily on the tip of one's tongue from the get-go. And I think that's been a learning process, to kind of unlearn something, in a way, and relearn it to make it perhaps a little bit more spontaneous, a little bit more in the moment. That's been a big change, and it's been really rewarding. And I know it's been the same for Sean and for Dan, and for Sarah. It's her first time, but it's been similar for her in that way as well. I think it's been great.
So, Dan, can you tell us what it's like to work in particular with these two?
Asking in front of us.
Did they shut their cameras down?
Wow.
Sure. We'll take them out.
Huge.
It's transformative. It's like, I can't even compare it to a family reunion or anything like that, because it's got that quality. However, and the play benefits from that, from just the knowledge of knowing these people. However, that quality added to it, of the newness of it, and also through these, the characters are having to battle with change and loneliness. What are we doing now? And with the world as it is, or with the country as it is, I was so grateful to have a creative project to go to, and to, as artists, I think in some way we're on the side of life. And so how can this be it's not an escape, it's how can I use this to say what I feel right now, to process that and to give some hope and, to be, the Irish, more than, well, as with other groups, I mean, through the stories, through the humor, that's how they've survived. And so I love just being a small part of that tradition.
Absolutely.
And to be an artist. I mean, I'm very, very grateful to be a part of this, doing this play with these fellows.
Sean, how can you describe the experience with Dan and John on stage every night?
Thankfully, it's different every night. There are a lot of personal traits from both, which I would never discuss, but that influence me very positively, as with all the members of this cast. And I always like when the bar is raised high by people I'm working with, because it keeps me on my toes. And between all the other members, there's just such a wealth of experience, and I just constantly draw from it and take all the positives from it. And I don't, in this case, I don't have any negatives I have to kind of keep an eye on. It's all just, it's all very positive stuff. So I'm just very grateful. It also helps that we're kind of all on the same page. And this, I think we truly do understand the text enough to bring ourselves to it. As Dan mentioned, in this place and time we're in now, working as an artist and being able to bring something of yourself to it. I think we all understand the text well enough to do that. And so it's a joy for me just to see how others are doing that. And then, of course, that all in turn affects my performance. And I love that. So it's a pleasure.
How about you, John?
You silenced him.
John, I have a habit of, maybe John's back. He's moving. Nope. Well, see, look, if you are in for a haunted evening, the Weir,
it's going to be one of those nights.
Irish Rep.
I can see you moving, Dan.
Oh, now
Can
John,
you hear us?
I can't hear you.
I can hear you, Dan.
Oh,
can you hear
okay.
me?
Robert was
Now
asking what the experience was acting with Sean and me.
Oh. Well,
we thought you were pretending you couldn't hear.
It's been lovely. It's always lovely acting with both of these fellows. And I was just thinking, I heard somebody say the other day about the decency of the characters in this piece. And I think that this is a difficult time, 2025. When we did it before in 2013 and 2015, you could argue that they were slightly easier times in some ways, slightly being an understatement. So I think these are more difficult times, and to do a play that showcases a sense of community and a sense of decency, and to get to do it with these two fellas and with Sarah and Johnny is kind of as close to theatre bliss as I think I might get. It's just lovely, actually.
Well, we're excited for people to check it out. You have till August 31st to make sure you come out and see it. You can go to irishrep.org. Shout out to the Irish Rep for giving actors a chance to act, playwrights a chance to write, and directors a chance to direct here in New York City. You can go see a show for the fraction of the cost of somewhere else because of the people that donate and are generous with their time and money to put the Irish Rep up on the stage. We are so grateful to be a part of their series every year and giving us amazing actors like you all to talk to. And everybody go get your tickets. You only have till August 31st. I'm telling you, it's a critic's pick, and it's something you're not going to want to miss. So Dan, Sean, John, break legs, have the most amazing run. I'll sleep.
Thank you, Robert.
I'll be scared later, and we'll be so excited to check out the show. Have an amazing, amazing time.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.